If you want to share and follow what we're going to be reading, it's in the 10th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus is at a very interesting point in his ministry. He started off as an unknown rabbi, teacher, preacher, and now he's just about ready to head for Jerusalem for his final Passover celebration. In the next chapter, he goes back to a family that he loves very close to Jerusalem, just 2 miles away, a place called Bethany, where Lazarus has died, and he's going to take care of raising Lazarus from the dead. So he's at that point where he's ready to start the triumphal entry and start the Passion of the Holy Week. But we read these words, the first 18 verses of chapter 10. Jesus talking to the crowds. I tell you the truth. A man who does not enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs in some other way, is a thief and a robber. The man who enters by the gate is the shepherd of his sheep. The watchman opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought them out all on his own, he goes on ahead of them, and his sheep follow him because they know his voice. But they will never follow a stranger. In fact, they will run away from him because they do not recognize that stranger's voice. Jesus used this figure of speech, but they did not understand what he was telling them. Therefore, Jesus said again, I tell you the truth. I am the gate for the sheep. All who ever came before me were thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved. He will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. But I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired man is not the shepherd who owns the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. For I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. Just as the Father in heaven knows me, and I know the Father. I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice, and they shall be one flock and one shepherd. The reason my Father loves me is that I lay down my life, only to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of my own accord. I have authority to lay it down, and I have authority to take it up again. This command I received from my Father. This is a very special day. Not because we're having an annual meeting. We're going to be approving the budget. No. Not because we're going to have a ballot, elect new leaders. No. Not because we're having a potluck. That's good enough on its own, but that's not the real purpose. Not because we're welcoming new members in. As good and wonderful, exciting as that is, that's not the point. It's what we're preparing for right here. We share the ordinance of the Lord's Supper to bind our family together. We can't survive on our own. Every single time we drift away, from the warmth of the family and the closeness fellowship that comes from being in the church family, we cool off and lose our passion and drift away and become obsessed with other things. We come together at these moments to warm up, to feel the passion of Jesus Christ again, to feel his love for us once again, to feel the desire we have to live for him, and to feel his desire to be in fellowship with us. We say, Pastor Bob, that's all fine and good for some of those folks, but I don't feel anything. I don't feel much. I'm just here. Then I ask you to pray this simple prayer, this very simple prayer. Lord, let me hear your voice. Let me hear your voice whisper to me. You see, Jesus Christ loves us, and he's calling us, and he's whispering to us. He's speaking gently to us. Follow me. Come a little closer. Come and walk with me. Come and be a part of me. Come and learn a little more of me. Come and share with me today. Listen to his voice in your heart. The words that I just read were the words that Jesus shared to a whole group of people. And some of them said, this guy has gone off his rocker. I'm not hearing anything. Look, I don't hear anything. You're listening to the shepherd's voice? You're responding and following the shepherd's voice? I don't hear any voices. Listen closer. The shepherd knows who's his. He knows each one of us intimately. He knows what we do well. And he knows what is very difficult for us. He knows what we like, and he knows what we hate. He knows us. And every once in a while, we will hear his voice saying, be careful. That's the wrong thing. That's going the wrong direction. That's not healthy. That's not good. Be careful. His voice will speak to us because he loves us. He wants us to have life. The whole phrase that we use so often, that you can have life, and that life abundant, that life to the full, that life full and overflowing, comes from this text right here. He wants you to have joy overflowing. But it only comes by being within his flock and listening to his voice. He wants you to find protection in his voice. The opening verses of this are very frightening to people. There are thieves and robbers out there. There are people who want to take advantage of you. There are people who are not telling... Someday I'm going to be glad to be over this thing. There are people who want you to just join them without thinking and take advantage of you. We call them scammers or spammers or all kinds of different cheats and scoundrels. He wants to give us protection. His voice offers us protection. When we're close enough that we can hear the shepherd's voice, we don't have to worry about what's going to happen to us next. He's going to be right there taking care of us. He says he is the door to the sheep pen. Now what that means is, in that opening that he's carved into the cleft of the rock, where the flock goes in at night and surrounded by a protective wall, tucked up against the side of a mountainside, there's only one opening. Like a cattle chute, you might want to call it. And it's just wide enough so that he can lay himself on the ground in that opening, and nothing is going to come and go without his knowledge and his protection. That's a very important promise. You can sleep at night without being panicked, without being afraid. I thank you, Nikki. I'm not sure that's going to get all of it, but that's sure a help. Thank you. Thank you. There is comfort in knowing that you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to feel all alone. Like whatever happens is your job to stay awake and to keep it from creeping up on you. Jesus Christ said, I'm the good shepherd, and in my voice there is protection. Because if I'm close enough that you can hear me speaking to your heart, you know I'm standing right next to you. I'm not yelling from across the world. I'm speaking right next to you into your heart. There is not only protection, but there's freedom in hearing the shepherd's voice. He says there are things that happen where we feel like we're pretty well trapped. But when we're a part of the shepherd's flock, he said we can come and go without being worried. We can actually step out of the protection of the sheepfold and go out and into the rich, lush pastures and be nourished and fed and strengthened. We can go by the quiet waters and be refreshed without having to be afraid, because he gives us freedom to move in and out and be a part of real life, because he's right there with us, leading us back and forth. There's healing and renewal. The Savior, being the Good Shepherd, looks at every one of us. Now think about this for a second. If you are a rancher, if you're a farmer, if you know what goes on out there in the field, think about what happens every time you walk past the fence where the cattle or the horses or the animals are grazing. You're looking for anything that's out of normal. You're actually searching to make sure that all of the animals in your flock, in your herd, are still moving correctly. They're not showing signs of injury or sickness or illness or weakness. You're looking all the time to see what needs to be done to make sure that one who may be failing just a little bit is given the encouragement and the nourishment and the healing they need to bring them back to health. Do you think the Good Shepherd that Jesus called himself isn't watching every step we make? I was walking across the driveway the other day, and I got one little more indication I'm getting older. Walking just as smooth across the dry pavement, and my knee went, ooh. If you're young enough, you haven't felt that yet, you got something to look forward to. And I looked up, having been preparing this sermon, and said, Shepherd, did you just see that? I got a bit of a gimp going. Did you notice? Are you ready to put your healing touch on a flimsy knee, a sensitive knee? Oh, listen to me. He doesn't miss a thing. He knows the very number of hairs on your head. And not a sparrow falls that he doesn't know about and care. That is a good shepherd. He is always interested, committed to lifting you up, building you up, refreshing you up, nourishing you up, taking away the pain. The shepherd calls out to his sheep, not because he enjoys the sound of his own voice, but everyone who hears it has peace. They have peace at a point you can't really calculate where it goes to. It's not just something you hear in your heart or hear in your head. It goes all the way to the source of your spirit. I am walking with you. It's going to be okay. I felt the touch of his hand on my shoulder. Excuse me. I felt the touch of his hand on my shoulder. I heard his voice saying, it's okay. I know what you're afraid of. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. You know why he said that to me? Not because I was afraid, but because he wants me to tell you not to be afraid. He didn't touch me just for me. He taught me to share with you that promise, that joy and peace that comes from hearing the Savior's voice. The shepherd's voice is to bring joy into our heart, to be a part of the family of God, to be a part of the kingdom of heaven. Jesus spent a long time with his disciples on the last night of his life, and he kept saying the same things over and over. I want my joy to be in you. I want your joy to be complete. I want your joy to reflect back so that it brings joy to me and to my Father. The shepherd's voice does that. I want you to be blessed this morning. But I have no power to bless you. All I can do is offer you the voice of a shepherd who loves you with all of his heart, who wants you to be a part of his kingdom and wants you to feel his presence with you.